Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Angry Kids 24/7 Radio.
Stephon Devereux Show, Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Welcome back. Man, whew, got some things going on here. Angry Kids 24/7 Radio and myself, yes, and myself, big news. I am entering the world of professional wrestling once again. Well, not just behind the scenes, like a lot of people know that I do some work behind the scenes, but I'm talking in front of the camera. Yeah, again. Now, I am your favorite wrestling manager. I know. And all of the fans who are sending me the letters, the emails, and so forth, telling me how they feel on Instagram when I go on Instagram and Twitter when I go on Twitter. But I just want to thank you for the hate. Idiots. I don't understand why people hate me so much. I'm a nice guy. I come out there. Yeah, I may talk stuff on your kids because some of your kids are ugly. And I may talk stuff on you because you're ugly too. We see where the kids get it from. But it's not my fault. I'm just being real. Everybody wants people to be real. Well, I'm just being real. Some of y'all kids is ugly, and I see where they get it from. Not trying to be mean, just being real. Anyway, once they get that out of my system, I'll have more news about my return November 2nd to professional wrestling. We'll talk about that in the coming weeks. But this week, I'm going to go back to my normal self, and I'm going to have a special guest on the show, my man Remy Muzik. And look, when MK, she's the booker, when she brings these guests to me and she says, you need to look at this one and listen to this one or whatever, because it's by videos and through the streaming sites. When she brings someone to my attention, she always hits a home run. But this one right here, I'm going to call a grand slam because doing my research, found out this kid, he's been in the game for a minute. We'll get into that later. But he's got some heat. For the past hour. I've been listening to one song in particular, and we're going to talk about that later during the interview. But it's been interesting. The Dave Chappelle situation, the controversy, because Dave Chappelle's been he's been in the news. The past 3 weeks over his new special that was released on Netflix called Sticks and Stones. And yeah, Dave, I loved it. I'm not going to lie, I loved it. I'm an old school guy. I love old school comedy, and that's what Dave Chappelle did. In the PC world that we live in today, people are really upset about that, but it is what it is. I thought it was really entertaining. I heard Rotten Tomatoes gave the special a 0%. I mean, are you serious? But it's okay. If you haven't watched it, please go check it out on Netflix. I'm telling people, every time I see them who hasn't heard anything, because some people don't follow social media and so forth. And when I tell them you need to watch this show, they look at me, they watch it, and I'm always getting the same feedback. I cannot believe he said such and such, but it was awesome. It was funny. So many other words. So go check that out on Netflix. But other than that, there's pretty much, Kevin Hart was in an accident this past week, sending our prayers out to him. But other than that, there really hasn't been that much news this past week. Hey, I like it when it's like that. But don't forget, coming up after the break, we got my man Remy Muzik. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy this interview, and you're going to enjoy the music as well. You're listening to the Stephon Devereux Show here on Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Kids 24/7 Radio.
How to text a guy to keep him interested? It's a question many women ask daily. Well, Amy North believes she has found the answer with How to Text a Guy to Keep Him Interested. It's a new course that she has put together, and it's helping ladies all across the world. You can go to howtotextaguy-to-keep-him-interested.weebly.com for more information. Amy says she has the answer, so find out there at howtotextaguy-to-keep-him-interested.weebly.com.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
I thought I was too far gone. I wasn't.
Join the Voices for Recovery.
The world is a beautiful place again.
For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance use disorders for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling?
Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
You're listening to Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Angry Kids 24/7.
Stephon Devereux Show, Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. We are back. Up next, we got a special guest, my man Remy Muzik. Man, I can't wait, man. People, you're going to enjoy this interview because I think this dude is probably one of the people that you don't. Look, the thing about the internet is there's so much music out there, and sometimes it's hard for you to come past, that music that you may actually think is dope. You know what I'm saying? Because you just didn't give it a chance before. So when you give it a chance, you're like, oh, yo, this is incredible. And Remy is one of those people. And let's see if we got him here. Remy.
Yo, what's happening, my guy?
Bro, what is up? Sorry if I kept you
man,
on.
chilling, enjoying this West Coast weather.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, man, you got a unique name. What's up? I mean, Remy Muzik. Explain your name to the fans.
Man, my name is Jeremy. So, I mean, when I was thinking about a name, as far as an artist name and a stage name and everything, it just kind of made sense. Like, my whole style, my whole image is me. I'm not one of them people, you got rappers out here flossing fake chains and everything fake. And, my whole persona is all original. So, I mean, what better way to bring that to life than Remy Muzik, because I make music.
Most definitely. So, well, how did you get your start?
Man, I've been in, church choirs and things like that my whole life. Growing up, I was in school choir. I didn't actually start doing music professionally till about, I'd say 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. I had a buddy of mine that was actually signed by Sony Records. Big tour bus, he's on MTV with his videos. We ended up getting in the studio, and I actually just told my interview I had earlier this week the same exact story. Man, I played the song that we went to the studio, and I played this song I recorded with this man nonstop, nothing in my CD player for literally 3 months. It was the most garbage track I've ever made in my entire life, but at that moment in time, I knew that this is what I was meant for. The feeling of hearing yourself on a CD, phenomenal.
Yeah, see, look, me, I'm a little bit different because I usually hate hearing myself on CD or doing the radio show, whatever. I usually hate hearing myself. When I have to go back and listen to it over again, I'm like, why are you torturing yourself? But, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Now, look, about your music, dude. See, I'm a straight-up music lover, and I'm not going to lie. I got so much stuff to ask you about your music, but I got to get to this first one. Man, Deep Thoughts. Deep Thoughts. Bro, that's a masterpiece.
Was so crazy in the creation. Man, and you're not the first person to tell me that. To be honest with you, that's probably my least favorite song on the whole album because I'm not a big fan of how the mixed down quality came out on it. But I was actually on hallucinogenic mushrooms when I wrote that song and recorded that song. I woke up actually my wife woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning as I'm tripping balls looking at the computer screen. I'm like, baby, you gotta hear this. And it was actually like what actually gave me the inspiration for that was The Weeknd. I'm a big fan of The Weeknd, and when the beat came on, the chorus and everything, it gave me that kind of vibe to it.
Man, I said, yo, this is a masterpiece. Now I'm gonna go back a little bit though, because there's some other songs I like off of some of your previous work. The I Still Cry song. That's an older song, am I correct? Like,
yeah, phenomenal song. That's actually one of my favorite songs I've ever done. I dedicated that to my grandfather. We went ahead and actually shout out C-Dub, man, from the West Coast, man, from the Bay Area, man. He made that beat for me. It's actually an Eric Clapton remake sample. Tears from Heaven.
Oh, you know what? He did a great job at it because I wouldn't have been able to tell. He sampled that track, the Tears from Heaven track?
Yes. I mean, and to be honest, it might not even be a sample. He might have recreated the actual sounds. He's a phenomenal producer.
Either way, dope. That's a dope song. Because, when I research my guests and so forth, usually I try to hit them with something that they don't like. I can't believe he really went back that far. But, I got to. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually, one of my favorite songs besides I Still Cry is Survivor. Now, that Survivor, man, even the visuals. You threw visuals with that, too. Do you do your own, your own treatment for your videos?
Man, that just kind of, it's ironic that happened. We weren't even supposed to shoot a video. I had a guy, I'm a graphic designer by trade. So I had a guy hit me up like, bro, I need an artwork, and I need it, like, right now. He's like, but I don't have any money. He was like, can we trade a video? And I'm like, sure. Well, I've actually got the perfect song for it. And he was like, cool. He's like, you ready today? And I'm like, fuck, yeah, let's go. So, we actually just went out that same day and went and shot the video for it. And, it was ready within the next 4 days. Just kind of threw it together real quick. But the song is probably one of my favorites. That and Studio Love are my two favorite songs off of the album, hands down.
And see, but that Survivor, to me, like that, it comes so hard, and it got like this old school feel to it. And that old school feel kind of represent your style overall, in my opinion, because you don't come off
right.
as...
I'm a 36-year-old man, so for me, I grew up in the 90s era listening to Mobb Deep, Nas, Biggie, Pac, everybody listened to Biggie or Pac, but Jurassic 5, to throw one out there, The Roots are probably one of my favorite groups of all time.
See, I could tell through your bars because you actually have some substance in your bars. You got substance in your bars. And there's not a – and see, that's why I was so interested in interviewing you because when MK first said, you got to talk to Remy. So when she was telling me about you and stuff, I started listening to some of your stuff. And I'm like, yo, not only listen to the new album, but then when I started doing the research for the interview and started listening to them, I'm like, wait a minute. Yo, this kid, he go. Because every song was impressing me, and I like that feeling to, so it shows me that you actually take this serious. You take it very serious.
Bro, this is my life.
In this game.
I moved from Ohio out here to the West Coast to chase my dream with a backpack and a couple $100 in an Airbnb. That was a year and a half ago. I've been out here grinding ever since, and, I can't, there is no option. I'm out here. So, that failure is not even fathomable. I can't even picture that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me at all. So, when I go ahead and I create this music, everything is from personal experience. I'm a very, very big storyteller in my music, as you already know.
Yes.
So,
yes.
For me, it's I got to win. There's no option to fail. So, I just bring everything I possibly can to every single track I create. And I do all my own engineering, my own recording, all that. The only thing I don't do is my own videos.
Man, so you do your own beats too? Because I mean, you just
No, excuse me. No, we don't do our own beats either. I've got a guy, Marcus Boyd from Atlanta. My guy is actually an autistic producer.
Are you serious?
Dead ass, man. He's all over the place. He's an autistic producer. He's actually an autism representative too. I mean, he does a lot of speaking, a lot of charity work and things like that, trying to bring awareness to the autism. And the guy does nothing but make crazy slaps. Man, and like I told you when we talked, Studio Love is probably my favorite. And when you listen to it, bro, you can hear that Tyrese Sweet Lady sample in there.
See, and look, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm an old school hip hop dude myself. I'm 41 years old, so I know
right.
How
So
these
you know how I feel about this.
Yes, and I love when producers, when they take a sample and you don't know who they're using. You know what I'm saying? See, the one thing I understood why Puffy did what he did years ago, but I'm still I got that old school feel to me to where I like when you digging in the crates and you find a dope ass loop and then you just go and you cut it up and they can't figure out what you're using, because that was part of the mystique back in the day of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, man,
right. I mean, hip hop music was created
that.
Off of everybody else. We are the only genre of music that steals shit.
Yep. And see, here's the thing though. It also gave us the opportunity to get to know the music that we didn't know before us. That was one of the reasons why I enjoyed the Chronic album so much during that time, was because I got to learn about, what Parliament was doing, before my time, and why my mother and my dad and my uncles and all of them, why they loved the Parliament so much. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, real quick, you're listening to the Stephon Devereux Show here on Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Got my man Remy Muzik in the building. Bro, let's get back to this music here, man. Okay, now. I'm going to be the fan again now. I'm going to be a fan. All right, so I was peeping, on YouTube. You do a lot of live performances, and you like to, record those live performances and so forth, put them on YouTube. Does that help you with your exposure?
Yes. And to be honest, the big thing with the live performances being recorded, man, it helps with my stage show. It gives me an idea what everybody else is seeing instead of, my own perspective. It gives me a secondary look at it. So that way I can kind of rehearse and, get my stuff together the way I'd like it. Gives me ideas on what I need to do, what I don't need to do. And yes, I mean, the live performance is huge because it gives somebody, it gives them the vision. It shows them that you're really out here pushing your product. It shows them you're out here working stage to stage, city to city, state to state, And
see, a lot of people, they don't understand that, especially a lot of these new artists. They don't understand that it's more than just, okay, you make a track and you just put it on Spotify or all the other services and you just leave it there. I mean, I've noticed that's the biggest flaw in the game right now, is that a lot of these kids just put their music up on a service and just think it's going to become, this big hit or it's going to go viral or something. You are actually
and everybody
putting in work
Tupac,
on it.
Bro. You ain't know?
Well, hey, you know what? I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? If I look at it from the work, if people had the work ethic of a Tupac Shakur, these artists today, you have a lot of these guys will be making money. You know what I'm saying? But you seem to be doing that yourself. But you're doing that yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because you're putting, you're putting in work out here doing the shows and stuff like that. You're putting out new music. But see, we come from a different era, though. Different era.
Man, I like it. Man, hustle or starve, bro. If you expect to get anything in life, man, you got to go get it. And nothing is handed to you. You can't rely on anybody for anything. So the only way I know in life to go get what you want is to get out and go grab that shit. It's already yours. If you envision what you see and you know that's for you, the only thing stopping you from getting it is reaching your hand out and taking it. Sometimes to reach your hand out and take it takes a little bit of work, but I mean, shit, hey, I ain't never been scared of a little bit of work.
Well, these days, it's, like I said, a lot of these kids, they just don't get it. It's all about the grind. And like I said before, man, you grinding. This new album right here, now, we're talking about Studio Love. You said that's your favorite, and I told you my favorite is Deep Thoughts. I think Deep Thoughts is it's just a masterpiece that, man, I can't wait to go back into my Deep Thoughts because I was there for an hour. I'm dead serious. I replayed it over and over again for about an hour in the background, and I'm like, yo, that song it's just hard. It's just and it just got a feel from it. Now, you said you're from Ohio, and I think we spoke about this before, so, and
Hall of Fame City Raised, Fame Gang Entertainment.
Now, in that song, to me, I know you were saying it had like a Weekend feel to it. To me, it had, a Bone Thugs and Harmony feel. You know what I'm saying? It had that old school Bone Thugs and Harmony. And see, that's what I was thinking, the Ohio thing. Did you grow up as a Bone fan?
Man, yeah, Bone Thugs is crazy, crazy hot. My first show my first major event that we performed at, man, you talking, again, like probably 10 years ago. Man, we opened up for Busy Bone. The guy didn't even show up at Peabody's. And if you're from, like you said, you're kind of from the area over in Pennsylvania. Man, are you familiar with Peabody's nightclub?
I believe so.
It's like a Cleveland music staple, and it's not there anymore. But right before they closed, man, we got the chance to open up for Busy Bone. The guy didn't show up. We ended up headlining the event. Sold like, man, 60, 70-some tickets or something sickening. And they ended up making us the headliners. So we ended up getting to perform. We ended up almost signed by Mushroom Head and 10,000 Cadillacs. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those two groups. Probably Mushroom Head more because, they've got a huge name. But they've also got a hip-hop collaborative called 10,000 Cadillacs that is comprised of the members of Mushroom Head. Man, they ended up bringing us in the studio and everything just based off of that show. Bone Thugs has been something that I grew up on my entire life. I still remember 7th grade sitting there listening to the cassette tape when it came out. The 1999 Eternal was fire.
Yes. I still call it one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all. Matter of fact, I won't even put it just on the hip-hop. I'll say one of the top 20 albums of all time. And the controversy that was surrounding it, with Eazy-E passing, like right before that album, to me, is an all-time classic. And I also consider Bone one of the greatest groups of all time, not just hip-hop. I consider them one of the greatest groups of all time because of their impact. These guys had an impact that no one foresaw, especially them losing, the captain of their ship, Eazy-E, right before they really broke out, for them to be able to still go on.
That's the first hip-hop group that really did any kind of real harmonizing and melodies, and they took that on top of the triple time spitter rap and just kind of combined something so original that it was just insane to hear. People were like, what in the hell is this? This is hot, that's what I try and bring with my music, is a complete different feel than what people are listening to right now on a whole original basis, trying to really just start a whole new genre,
And see, the thing is, and people will not, unless they go back and listen to, hip hop from that era or that area, especially that area. But Midwest, there's like a totally different flavor in the Midwest that, to me, I think it's probably one of the most incredible flavors in the business ever. From Cleveland to Detroit to, I can keep going. But let's just think about
Chi-Town, the whole Midwest shake. You got Twista back in the day. All them groups. And that's one of the things with Midwest hip-hop that I've noticed. Everybody wants to do this spitter rap, and that's because that's what Ohio and that's what the area is really, Kansas City, that whole area, Tech 9, everybody's on that fast chop rap. So when I was going up in the game and starting to do this music, I tried to stay as much as possible away from that just because I wanted to separate myself from that just whole collective. I didn't want to blend in with everybody else in the area. Personally, I feel like I got a huge Bay Area sound, but that's just me.
Well, everyone says I sound like Tupac when I rap, and I tell them, I don't know what you're smoking, but anyway, I kid you not.
That's a huge compliment, though, my man. Shit,
Tupac. Man, I'm dead serious. I'm going to tell you this real quick. I had one guy who was literally trying to have me do a rap for him. He wanted me to do a track for him, and he said, look, I'm going to do this track, and then we're just going to tell people that it might be Tupac, you know what I'm saying, just to get some buzz. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, do you not know how stupid that sounds? Because at the end of the day, they're going to find out and they're going to slaughter me. You know what I'm saying? So I just never went down that route, but I hear the comparison a lot. You know what I'm saying? But, okay, man, back to you, bro. Back to you. This new album right here, all right? Another track that I like that I'm feeling a lot is the Daily Hustle track. I'm telling you, man, I'm feeling that Daily Hustle and Gripping and Riding. Now I'm feeling that one, too, because I can't wait to get in the car, you know what I'm saying, just so I can listen to it while I'm riding.
And that's
you know
a slapper. That's like, a trunk slapper. That shit right there will rattle the walls on houses blocks from where you at.
Man, look, that's why when I go through the songs and I mark down the ones that I like the most, you know what I'm saying, I usually wait till I get to the car, but no, I had my headphones in, and man, I said, okay, yeah, this one's going to knock. This one's going to knock. But, look, Studio Love, you said that's your favorite song. Why is it your favorite song?
Man, to be honest with you, that's the last song that I went ahead and completed on the album. I was sitting in the studio, and, you know, like, it was a matter of, like, you know, I'm trying to wrap the project up. We had a show coming up on the actual date of the release, on July 20th. And my wife was like, look, listen, you know, like, I'm like, what should I write about? You know, she's my inspiration to the whole project. If you listen to the entirety of the collective, man, like, I'm talking to her through the whole thing. So, like, when we're listening, I'm like, you know, what should I write about? She's like, give me something freaky. I'm like, shit, you know, I put on the beats and I'm listening, and I'm like, man, there go that. As soon as I heard that Tyrese sample, I'm like, this is the joint. You know, I had that written and recorded within like 2.5 hours, mixed down, mastered, and everything within 4 or 5 hours in the same day, and we sent it off to distribution that night. I say that's my favorite because that song right there completed Taurus, and realistically, in my opinion, brought it all together into one whole just great masterpiece. Man, I'll tell you this, and then when you do, because I know when I listen to it, and I started from, you know, start to finish, and you're right. As far as a full body of work, because it does have it has a full body of work feel to it. Like, okay, he went in here with a game plan, and he said, all right, this is how I'm gonna do this. You know, instead of you just throwing songs together. Okay, I just did this song 3 months ago. Blah, blah. It feels like you actually had a game plan going into this album. Is that true? Man, not even, kind of, but not really. Man, it took me, I want to say 8 months to finish the project. Man, and it's just a matter of, like, I write, like I told you, I write based off of my emotions. I write based off of my life. Everything that you'll ever hear from me is all true facts, true story. Nothing is ever going to be fabricated because to me, like, that's not real. And growing up in a hip-hop era, real is real. You know, like, that's hip-hop. It isn't what, like, people are screaming nowadays where, you know, everybody got, like I said, these fake chains and everybody trying to be something they're not. So, like, as a 36-year-old hip-hop head, I'm an old head, you know? Like I try to bring as much realism to the project as possible. So when I sat back that day, as a matter of fact, as soon as we finished Studio Love, I'm listening to the project as a whole. And I'm like, man, this all fits together so perfectly. So I just went ahead and put a little, you know, put the track list together that day. And we, like I said, we mailed it out to the distribution company that day. That is dope, man. That is so dope, man. And people, I'm telling you, go get that new Taurus album by my man Remy Muzik. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. You're going to love it. Now, Remy, we only got maybe a minute left here. Tell the people real quick why they should go out there and get your music right now. Man, because anybody on earth can relate. Anybody going through some problems, anybody going through some struggles, anybody going out to get drunk and party. You know, like, I've got a little bit on there for everybody, no matter what you really like listening to. So, I mean, there's nothing on that project that you're not going to feel in your soul, realistically. I mean, I make hip-hop soul music. So I'm talking about, and people, I'm telling you, don't just listen to the Taurus album. Go back. You can look him up right now. It's Remy Muzik, RemyMuzik. I want to thank Remy for joining us this week. And Remy, man, I'm telling you, you're going to have me back on.
Well, I'm going to get you back on during the football season, so you know what I'm saying, because I know you're a Browns fan, and we're going to have to talk about
right,
that.
Right, go Browns, baby. Cleveland, dog pound. Gotta love it.
Hey, look.
Man, me and the wife, we be arguing because she a Seahawks fan. I told her I got to get her a Browns jersey.
Oh, man, you know what? I can't hate on the Seahawks because, you know, Russell Wilson has won me some fantasy championships in the past.
Man, if you see her face right now, bro, she like, see, I told you. That's that look I just got.
Look, I'm just saying, hey, look, and I'm going to tell you, look, tell her this. I promise you this year, they're going to be even better this year because I think they got everything in order. You know what I'm saying? I really got a gut feeling about Pete Carroll and his team. So do not be shocked if them Seahawks come out from the NFC. And also, real quick, Baker Mayfield is my fantasy quarterback this season, so he better ball. Just not up against the Steelers, that's all. All right, Remy, man, don't worry. We're going to get you back on here during the season. And people, go check out that Taurus album right now. It's on all major digital outlets. Go check it out right now, Remy Muzik. Thank you again for joining us, bro. I appreciate it.
Man, appreciate you, bro. You have a good one.
You too, bro.
Yes, sir.
You're listening to the Stephon Devereux Show, Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. I want to thank y'all for joining us. And don't forget, man, like I said, go check out that Remy Muzik. You know what I'm saying? RemyMuzik. Remy Muzik. That new Taurus album, I'm telling you, it's fire. Angry Kids 24/7 Radio, Stephon Devereux. We're out.
You're listening to Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Angry Kids 24/7 Radio.
How to text